Hi everyone, welcome back to another amazing video. In this particular video for today, we're going to be discussing about scheduling, and we're going to be discussing about this in a Node.js application. Now, what exactly is scheduling? Most engineers, we know it as background jobs. Most persons call it cron jobs. Most persons call it scheduler and all sort of names. But they're all schedulers, like the name implies. And what exactly does schedulers do, or what exactly is it used for? Now, you might have come across cases whereby you're building an application and you have to run some activities at a particular point in time consecutively, continuously, like it's a recurring activity. Take, for example, you have to calculate total number of orders every day around 12 p.m. in the afternoon. That cannot be done manually, it has to be done automatically using a scheduler that allows that thing runs continuously. And for this video, we're going to be looking at schedulers in a Node.js application, how to implement a scheduler that could help us perform a particular task. So, are you new to Node.js? Are you new to schedulers? Have you really come across a case whereby you have to use it in your application, but you don't know how to use it? Are you just curious about knowing what scheduler is? Whatever it is you are at the moment, this is the right video for you. So join me as I walk you through the approach and how to implement a scheduler in a Node.js application. All right, so moving forward, you can work with me while I explain this step one after the other. But if you want the working version and the complete version of this code, I'm going to put the link in the description below so you can clone it and run it on your end and see all that we've done or all we're about to do. So now, the first thing we're going to do here is just create a normal folder, which I've created, which is called the Node Scheduler. And going forward, I'm going to create just an entry file for our application. So the entry file is basically just going to be our index.js, which I'm going to be creating inside of here. So I'm going to be creating our index.js inside of here. So let me have that new file, index.js. Then inside of the terminal, I'm just going to run npm init y just to give us a package.json. So I can go ahead and install. I can go ahead and install Express course. I think we also need to install. Let's work with those two for now. So when we install those two packages, basically what it does for us is allows us to build a or run and bootstrap an Express application, a Node Express application. And the first thing I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to run a very simple application. Then I'm just going to have our port number as, let's say, 7,400. Then here I'm going to have const app equals express so that we can now listen to our application. So we're going to listen to the port number. So now if we check our application just using node index.js, we get server is live at port 7,400. So I'm just going to install NodeMon so that we can work with NodeMon to restart our server at every point we need it. So inside of the package.json, we should have our NodeMon added in here so we can have our start script as node index.js, and we can have our dev scripts as NodeMon index.js. So that's all we need to do now. So talking about the scheduler, what exactly does the scheduler needs to do? Now, the scheduler just needs to run a background job. Like, for example, like I explained in the intro and the introduction, schedulers are basically just used to run background activities that doesn't need to have any effect of other stuff that are running in your application. And I cited an example in the introduction, I said you could have an e-commerce application whereby you need to calculate the total number of sales every 24 hours and probably send it to maybe your sales department through their email or some kind of activities that needs to go on behind the scene. Those kind of stuff doesn't need to be tied to a particular route. It doesn't need to be tied to a particular event. It just needs to run continuously, recurring, as long as your application is live. And moving forward, I'm going to be using a package called Node Cron. So the package called Node Cron is a package that allows you to work with, or to allows you to implement a scheduling or a background job or a cron job, as most of us know it as. And the package is basically just called Node Cron. And to install the package, all you have to do is just npm install, then we install Node Cron. So if you want to check all the activities of Node Cron, all the methods that are involved in Node Cron and all of those kind of stuff, you can find it in the npm registry. I'm going to drop the link for that so you can find a package called Node Cron in the npm registry. Now we have our Node Cron installed and you can see it here. We have Node Cron. All we just need to do is just require Node Cron in our application. So the first thing we'll do here is we'll have const cron equals to require cron. Sorry, require Node Cron. Now we've required the package in our application, and I'm going to create a function. So this function will be called, let's say, I'm going to call it send emails, or let me just call it send message. So the send message, inside of the send message, I'm going to schedule a cron. And in Node Cron, we have what we call the asterisk. Now this asterisk signifies the month, the year, the day, the seconds, the hour. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is always the default asterisk, we have this as the hour, the minutes, the hour, the day, the month, and the year. That's how each of them signifies. And if you have the last one, which is optional, this one happens to be optional. That is majorly the seconds, but in most cases, you might not need the seconds, because if you need to run something every second, let's say every 3 seconds, you might necessarily not need to introduce a cron. You might have to do that with maybe a certain interval or something. But in most cases, you might want to work with cron schedulers to also implement activities and events in seconds. But like I said, the last one is optional. So you can have that removed if you want to remove that. Now, I'm just going to show you the npm registry, what it looks like, so that we can just have a better understanding of how the Node Cron is. So let me show you. Now we have, let me go npm js. So this would open for us the Node package manager registry. And in this registry, we have all the packages that Node.js works with. So all the packages you install in your application, everything can be found inside of the registry. And if you check the registry for the package Node Cron, this is the package here. So if you check the contents of the package or what the package implies, you see that exactly what I explained to you. We have the seconds, which is optional. We have the minutes, the hour, the day of the month, and the day of the week. So if you want a better understanding of everything, you can find that inside of this package here. And you can go through the documentation for that. But for our own case, I'm just going to be showing you a practical approach of how to do that. So now, moving forward, we're going to have the scheduler implemented here. And basically, all I just want to do right now is just to show you how the scheduler runs. So we can just say, good day. Now we expect this message to run, let's say every 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to add one more, which is 6, which is the optional one. So I'm expecting this message to run every 2 seconds. And basically, all I want to do is I'm going to call that function send message. So this function gets executed immediately. My server starts running. So now if I run npm run dev, you find out that we're going to have that log every point it's 2 seconds. Good day, good day. We keep having that good day for every 2 seconds. Now, if I quit this terminal and let's say I want to have this every 5 seconds, you know, if we run this again, npm run dev, I'm going to have good day every 5 seconds. So we're using a very simple example, which is basically just logging something to the console. But in real life and real cases scenarios, you might be doing some kind of jobs whereby you are sending a mass email, you are sending a push notification, you're sending some form of messages, you are kind of updating the database, doing some calculations and some logins. All of these things are the kind of real cases and real life scenarios which you may be working with. And they are still going to pass through this method called the cron.schedule. So, like I said, if you want to get a deeper understanding of each of these things and how to make use of them, you can check the link I just showed you earlier, which is the npm registry. You're going to find what each of these stands for. If you want to go with 20 minutes, 20 seconds, if you want to go with 2 hours, 2 days, if you want to run an event every month, every first of the month, if you want to run an event every 2 a.m., for example, you just have to have your hour and your minutes as 0, and you have your hour as 2. Now, this would run an event for you at every new day, 2 a.m. of every day. So, which means if you have this, the first day at 2 a.m., it runs that event. The second day at 2 a.m., it runs that same event, continuously, all of that. That's how it works. So that is how each of these scheduler timing is. So basically, what I've just showed you right now is how you can use the Node Cron package to implement a scheduler. And like I said, this is just a very simple approach, just making you understand how to implement this and how to work with schedulers or how schedulers work behind the scene. But in a real life and real case scenario, what you're going to be doing basically is some kind of hard job, some kind of bulky activities, like for example sending emails, calculating some data in the database, doing some updates and all those kind of sort of stuffs. So yeah, that's basically what this video is intended to show you. I hope you understood and you now understand better how a scheduler works and how to use the Node Cron package. Now, apart from the Node Cron package, we have several other packages that exist in the registry. We have the cron job, we have the node schedule, we have, I think, the node scheduler also. There are several kinds of packages that also does the same scheduling. But the reason why I like the Node Cron is basically because of how explanatory and how flexible it can be with the timing. So for example, if I need to set something for, let's say, 4:30 in the evening, I can basically just do that here. The flexibility is what I like about the scheduler. So right now, I think we've come to the end of this video. If you like this video and you understand one or two things in this video, can you drop a thumbs up, give us, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications for other videos like this that will be dropping weekly. And I'll see you in the next video.